And then my boss saw me on that website too.
Wow.
Yeah,
We got to get into that.
yeah, it's,
So how did you know your boss found you?
well,
He started making comments, didn't he?
him and his wife are separating or divorced or getting a divorce. And he made a comment to his daughter saying like, honey, one day you're going to learn that we don't get everything we want. Like, I want a young 22-year-old girl with a nice booty. Doesn't mean that I'm going to get it.
Wait, he said that to his toddler?
Yes.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to a very, very special episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the #1 sugar dating podcast in the world, where we pull back the curtains on the good, the bad, and Kimmy,
Oh, God.
the absolute shocking stories of sugar dating. How are you?
You know.
Shaka Khan.
Shocking. Thank you for joining us today, Kimmy. I know you have a lot going on, but this is a special. We are doing another birthday show today.
It's always somebody's birthday.
No, but these are special birthdays. It is Lily's birthday. Welcome, Lilly.
Happy birthday to me.
Yeah, her actual birthday is in about a week, but we're going to celebrate her birthday and my birthday at the same time, which was yesterday. Now, I know this podcast comes out in about 3 weeks, so we will all had our birthdays, but just letting you guys know, I am now officially eligible for the senior discount at Denny's.
And I'm not even close to eligible.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited to get that senior discount.
We're proud of you, Marcus.
Yeah. So we had a nice little birthday celebration last night. We're going to get into all that and more, but I do want to welcome another very special guest. And the reason why is because it's my sugar baby.
It's Marcus's main squeeze.
It's my main squeeze.
The one and only.
We convinced her to come on the show, and we are going to dive into some questions that she might get uncomfortable with, but we're going to do it.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Welcome, Alejandra. We've talked about you many times in past episodes, and here you are.
Gagging on that microphone.
I don't know how you're going to get through this, but somehow we will.
Yeah. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Well, we had a fun night last night with Lilly and her date.
Yeah.
You know, he's fantastic.
He is.
He is a huge fan of the show, and we're definitely going to talk about him.
Let's tell the story about how I met Podcast Fanboy.
Yeah. What are we going to call him?
Podcast Fanboy.
Okay, we'll call him Podcast Fanboy.
And honestly, the story begins with my dear daughter, Kimmy.
Kimmy was the first one to meet.
She was the first one to meet
Podcast Fanboy.
Podcast Fanboy.
You had lunch
Sure.
with him.
Yeah.
And he was a nice guy.
He was great.
Yeah.
Fan of the podcast, and
He
just
compensated you nicely for your time.
it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very generous.
Oh, yes, he is.
We like that in the sugar dating world
Mm-hmm.
because it takes time for you guys to get up and do things, get all dolled up, and it's your time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he met Kimmy, and then now Kimmy, he asked you for Lily's number. Is that how?
Yeah. Over like a few weeks, I think, or maybe it was months. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably months. Months had gone by.
So he's a faithful listener of the podcast. And he had heard the episode where he sensed that things were going sideways in my living together arrangementship. And they were. And he asked Kimmy if she thought he might be my type.
Yeah. And I said,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Ask her
You
yourself.
never know, right?
So then she
Yeah.
asked if she could give him my number. And I said, why the hell not? This could be interesting.
And it's been great.
And it has been wonderful.
Now, you guys haven't seen each other that much because he's been traveling a lot.
Yeah, he does
in and
travel a
out.
lot.
But the beautiful thing is that he is doing it correctly. He's going slow. He's not pressuring you.
Mm-hmm.
You can date who you want to date. There's no jealousy at this point.
No.
No.
Which I thought was kind of weird, but he loves a podcast so much. He's like, don't hold back. Tell all the things.
What a great guy.
Yeah.
There's only two things. He told me there's 2 things you're not allowed to say, which I wouldn't say anyway.
Right. There are 2
First
restrictions.
of all, here are my restrictions. Never say my real name on the podcast, which I never would. And don't say I'm a limp dick motherfucker. I was like, why would I say that? He's like, I'm just kidding, but those would be the only 2 things that I wouldn't want you to say.
Oh, God. Well, you know.
Okay, can you picture him saying that? Because he said it at dinner last night.
I was sitting there going, okay.
I was like, there would be no need for me to say that, first of all. And second of all, you're funny because that coming out of your mouth is hilarious.
What I've come to realize is a lot of these people are just cracked out.
Meaning?
Which people?
People.
Do you think
Cracked
my
out.
podcast fanboy is cracked out?
Possibly.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
No, he's a great guy.
I've spent.
No. Cracked out by the doctor's crack. You know what I mean?
I don't
understand.
What is cracked out code for?
You know, I don't know. Just pills. People do.
Oh, so maybe he's medicated. and
Maybe
I'm
his
just
medication
unaware.
mixed with some wine, and all of a sudden he's talking about some limp dick motherfuckers. You know.
I don't know.
Well, no, because to look at him, he just looks like old Whitey, you know? He
Yeah.
looks very conservative. He's very polite, well-mannered.
Until the crack gets
You
to
would
you.
not expect those words to come out of his mouth. So it was actually really funny.
Yeah, we all laughed at it.
Would he ever be on the podcast?
No.
He might.
Oh, you think?
I think so.
He has a lot of great stories.
He does. And I've heard some of them and he said, oh, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
So
Now, before we get into Alejandra's story, which I'm excited to get into, let's just talk about Cafe Monarch. I'm giving them a free plug. This is the first time Lily's been there, but I took Alejandra there a couple months ago for her birthday.
I was a Cafe Monarch virgin and now
Yeah.
I'm not.
And
Wow.
do you understand why it's a top 5 restaurant in the world?
I do
Or in
understand.
the nation, in the country?
Every last morsel was orgasmic.
And you should have witnessed Lily's face.
loved
It
it.
really looked like she was having an orgasm every bite.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the same with Alejandra. So I'm going to go ahead and tell the story. But I took Alejandra there for her birthday, and we had some really amazing intimate time afterwards. And she's like, you know, if you want more of that, you know where to take me. So the 2 months later, we go again, and it got even better. And she's
Wow.
like, you know, there's a correlation here. Are you realizing what's going on?
You are too funny. That's great.
So she's
So
a little
you heard it here
manipulative.
first, fellas.
She's being a little manipulative, aren't you, Alejandra?
Cafe Monarch.
It's
The
working.
aphrodisiac
It is working. We might have reservations there tomorrow.
of Scottsdale.
Yeah. So shout out to them. This is unpaid. And actually, they don't need to advertise because
No.
they are.
Okay, gotta know, how much was the bill?
You know, it wasn't bad. It was like $600 a piece, I think. I mean,
Are you shitting me?
No. I'm sorry.
but
$600
so
per
worth it.
couple.
Per couple.
Yeah. And we had 2 bottles of wine.
$1,200 for dinner, but
Yeah.
worth every penny.
Yeah. Did you feel like it was a ripoff?
No.
Oh, absolutely not. It didn't even feel overpriced. I actually looked at the bill and I said, we got off cheap.
It was a
Yeah.
magical
Really?
Yeah.
dining experience.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, now I have to go do this.
Hey, so if you get approached by a sugar daddy and he wants to take you out to dinner, you say, take me to Cafe Monarch.
Mm-hmm.
100%. We'll see if they can put their.
If I get approached by a sugar daddy, I'm gonna ask him if he's a fucking rapist.
Oh, well, that too. But all right.
Anyways, but yeah, Cafe Monarch, I really need to go.
Yeah, we highly recommend that. So, okay, Alejandra, good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
All right, so you are 26
Yes.
and I am 55 now. So we've got 29 years difference. So we're going to get into all of that, but she has become a very special part of my life. But I want you to kind of fill in the audience of how you even got to this point. You are so gorgeous, so put together. You've tried multiple dating options. You've had boyfriends and serious relationships. And then here you are. So how long ago did you decide you were going to go the sugar dating route?
Man, I think it was last May, like end of May, beginning of June.
Okay, so
And
like 9-10 months ago.
Yes. And I was talking with one of my girlfriends who she's a flight attendant. And I was just getting over a kind of relationship with someone. And she's like, you need to get on Seeking. I have 4 girlfriends and they are succeeding in this. Like you get paid to go to dinner and you get like fun gifts and all this. And I made one the next day. And
So
it
you made
took
your
me-
profile the next day?
Yes. But it took me a while because I didn't know what to expect or what it even was. So then I didn't start getting comfortable till like maybe 2 weeks. I started meeting people and texting them, and I found your podcast.
Now, the great thing
you
is,
texted me.
yeah.
Messaged me.
your profile picture was magical. It was, I like the brown girls. And
He sure does.
The
And
browner, the better.
and
What? I don't know if he's quite there yet, but
yeah. But I thought you were a fake profile because your pictures were so beautiful. And they weren't even in Arizona. Like one was in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
And then you had some others.
That's your favorite picture. too.
Yes. But you responded, and then with our conversation, I could tell that you were real. And you started listening to the podcast, and that's kind of how we kept in touch. So, men, I guess if you want a beautiful woman like Alejandra,
Start a podcast about sugar dating.
Sugar dating, right?
It works.
It seemed to work. So anyway, you started listening to the podcast and kind of getting an idea of what the sugar dating world entailed, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And how did it go for you? You started
It
meeting
was very overwhelming
people, yeah?
because I've been on dating apps for quite some years. And I'm like, I'm just going to do it as I normally do, meet them, just be my genuine self.
What did you find that the men were seeking on Seeking?
Okay, the first guys that I met were very, like, gentlemen. They were very respectful, which is something that is a priority for me. I didn't really have, okay, actually, no. I did meet someone that I've already known in the past because I used to work at a gym.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first one that I met from Seeking, thinking it was going to be more comfortable since me and him have met before. And he asked me to, like, give him a blowjob right there and then, and like asking for other things. And I'm like, wait a second, no, how are you asking for all this? Like, what am I gonna get in return? He's like, oh, we'll like work on it and stuff like that. I don't know. Like, it was just very disrespectful. I didn't like the directness of it.
Now,
not
Lilly
comfortable.
and Kimmy get that all the time. Men will just, I'm sorry, but men are pigs.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
they will just hit you with the most sexual, vile things and from the very beginning. And
Out of nowhere.
and girls
You're
does-
like,
do-
wait,
does
what
that
just
work?
happened?
Does that work on any of you girls?
Sure didn't for me.
It doesn't. I don't know anybody
I
that's working for.
Generally just stop talking to the person.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was having a nice back and forth texting conversation on the site with a guy. And then all of a sudden, from out of left field, he said something disgusting about cum. And my response was, oh, dear God. And then I just stopped talking to him.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love your responses. I love when you fuck with them. You're just the funniest when
I
you
was like,
start fucking with them.
really? It was gross. It
So,
was
Alejandra,
gross.
even though you knew this guy, he started getting really sexual with you because he saw you on this site and he started just treating you like an object,
Yes.
like a toy that he could rent.
Yeah. Yeah. I blocked him ever since.
Yeah. So you're like, all right, dude, that's not why I jumped on here.
Right. Then I started researching and listening to all your podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how I figured, oh, like I'm giving all these guys my real number. Right.
Yeah.
And then you guys talked about like Google Voice, and that helped a lot because till this point, I still get messages from guys that I matched back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how do you get my phone number? I've been using Google Voice,
Yeah.
but I gave my number a lot
Right.
in the beginning before the podcast
Mhm.
started.
You know, back in the day, when I first got on Seeking, I was 19 and I gave everyone my real number and then I started a real relationship, right? And so while I was in my relationship, my ex, who had like crazy anger issues, he would like see all these people like sometimes people would FaceTime me at 3 a.m. and I'm
Yep.
like, I don't even know who that is. Like,
Oh my God.
and it's not like I ever even met them. It was just like people who are like freaky and just, like circling back around, seeing that they had messaged me at some point weeks and weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I had to change my number.
All right. So you got your secondary number like we suggested,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of filter them out through that.
Yes.
Yeah. So what were you finding out there? What did you experience? Now, I met you.
Look-
You started like in May, you said?
I believe so, like end
Yeah.
of May, beginning of June.
Yeah. And I met you in July. So you had a few
Yes.
months to experience the site before me.
Yeah, it was getting very overwhelming. Like I did
Why?
not know, just so many messages. Everybody wanted to meet up and I just didn't have the time.
Mhm.
Besides in the evenings, a lot of men wanted to meet during lunch or in the morning. And I'm like, I just not available. I'm not that flexible to meet you.
Because you have a 9 to 5, 8 to
Mhm.
5 type job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then my boss saw me on that website too.
Wow.
Yeah,
We got to get into that.
yeah, it's
So how did you know your boss found you?
well,
He started making comments, didn't he?
him and his wife are separating or divorced or getting a divorce, and he made a comment to his daughter saying like, honey, one day you're gonna learn that we don't get everything we want. Like I want a young 22-year-old girl with a nice booty. Doesn't mean that I'm gonna get it.
Wait, he said that to his toddler?
Yes. And I'm
In
like,
front of you.
in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't
What
comment
in
on
the
it.
sexual
I
harassment?
did not comment on it. And then he said,
That is so weird.
yeah. And then he asked, like, now that I'm single, I had a friend who told me about this site and I got on it. Well, I saw you on it. And I said, which site? Because I know I'm on some dating apps. He's like, oh, essay. And by then, like, I didn't know Seeking was also called.
Seeking arrangements in the
Yes.
past. Yeah.
And I'm like, essay? What does that mean?
ASA.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And he's like, seeking. And I'm like, oh. And I just turned so red. And I'm like, well, I need more money. Like, you guys don't give me, like, I need more money. And it's my dating life. Like, I want to get out there. And
Now, did you
in
jump?
my mind, I'm like, why am I even giving him explanation
Mhm.
on
Yeah,
why
weird.
I'm there? I'm like, he's there too.
Now, was that your motivating factor for getting on, or you just wanted a different experience than what you were?
I got
Having with-
on just out of curiosity. I didn't know nothing about it. Right. I didn't.
But you
know-
knew there was a financial component.
Yes. Yeah. But in the beginning, I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm just going to do it and just see what,
Mm-hmm.
just going to go with the flow of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know there was a financial component.
Which is enticing a little bit. Like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
men are willing to pay to date me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And they're older. And you don't mind older men.
No, not at all.
You love older men.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love 50-year-old men.
there you go.
What about 80?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I love my grandparents. I just can't.
You just don't want to date somebody that's the same age as your grandparents.
No, that's.
But then you did tell your mother.
You don't have a grandpa fetish?
No.
But then you did tell your mother that you were dating a gentleman older than her recently.
And my dad. I told my dad too.
Oh, you told your dad?
Yeah,
Well, you
remember?
did it in a kind of a teasing
Yeah.
way, and he kind of
Yeah, he.
had an interesting reaction.
What was his reaction?
It was in my birthday, I remember. And after that, I was going to go out on a date with.
With
and-
Marcus?
Oh,
Just
With
restart the
Marcus.
sentence.
I got you, girl. I got you.
I was going to go on a date. And my dad asked, like, with who? And I'm like, with the man that's way older than you. And he was like, oh. Alejandra.
We're going to
That
do
just
some
sucks.
beep, beep, beepity beeping on this
It's
episode.
okay.
I love to do the beep.
The
Yeah,
It's
beeps-
fun.
she's the beef
beeps
queen.
honestly make it better. I feel like if I'm listening to an episode hook, like
Yeah.
the beginning, and there's a beep in the first like 10 seconds, it's
Yeah.
like, this is
Yeah.
going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, my dad's reaction was just like, you better not, kind of thing. And then
Mhm.
his wife was like, you love pushing your dad's buttons.
Now, your mom said something interesting. She has been seeing all the fun dates you go on and the
Yeah.
great times you're having. And she asked if there was a way for you to sneak her along
Yes.
to experience some of this, because she's married and
Mhm.
has been for a while.
Okay. Are your parents still together?
No, they're divorced.
How old are your parents?
My mom is 43 and my dad is 46.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Now, here's the
your
beautiful
sugar daddy
thing.
is older than your
Yeah,
parents.
but here's the
Yeah.
beautiful thing. I've seen her mom. I've met her mom through FaceTime just briefly. She looks amazing. So
Really?
I know
She's
that this
very
girl, Alejandra, yeah, is going to have a beautiful future herself. So, yeah,
you.
she's got a beautiful mom.
Yeah, she is very beautiful.
And interesting, so they grew up in Mexico, or they're from Mexico, right?
Mhm.
And her mom married a white guy
In Mexico?
Which happens to be the same age.
who happens
as
to be the same
Marcus.
age as Marcus.
Oh, wow.
1 month apart.
Does
Yeah.
your mom wear sunscreen
Yes. Every day.
since she was a child?
No, like maybe the past 2
Why
years.
would you ask that?
Because there's a correlation with hotness and sunscreen.
Oh, I
So-
gotcha. Okay. Her skin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Apparently.
Mhm.
Apparently.
All right.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So what kind of men did you find that you were meeting?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, did you find that these men were more successful, more generous, better manners than the people you were dating before you got on the site?
yes, because the guys that I was dating on normal dating sites like Hinge and Bumble,
Mm-hmm.
I would say they weren't like opening doors and paying for your food. And they all wanted something serious too,
Yeah, they were looking to
which
tie
is
you
something
down.
that I don't want.
Yeah.
And I didn't want back then either. And I noticed that the guys from Seeking were a lot more successful, respectful, at least the men that I did meet. And
Well, you filtered through to meet the ones that you wanted to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tried to get rid of the pigs on there.
Yes. Yeah.
So you and I have been dating well over 8.5 months, and we have come to some interesting conversation, or we've had some interesting conversations, come to some interesting crossroads in our relationship, because what you want to take it very slow. And what we're finding is not only with you, Alejandra, but with Lilly and Kimmy, guys want to take it so quickly.
Yeah, that was a problem in my last situation.
Yeah.
Is he just moved so fast, and I kept asking him to pump the brakes, and he didn't. And so I just kind of went along for the ride until it was a
Until you couldn't take
goddamn car crash.
You know, typically when things go so fast, they never end well.
Mm-mm.
No. And I, in all fairness, tried to end as friends and end on a positive note. Nope. He got pissed off. Goddamn Scorpio.
Let's
He
let it
fucking-
all out, Lily.
He let me have it, and then he blocked me before I could respond.
Oh,
Wow.
That's it.
Goddamn Scorpios.
It's the Scorpios. They're awful.
So,
Thank God you two are Aries.
yes, we are.
Alejandra, what are you?
Aquarius.
Oh, I'm an Aquarius.
Yay. Wait, what date? Wait, are you in
She's in February and
Yeah.
you're in January, but you guys are
Oh.
very close, like within a week and a
Mhm.
half of each other.
Nice.
Vivian is
Aquarius.
also Aquarius.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I don't know about all this astrology stuff, but we all get along fabulously, you know?
I know. And it's very interesting how we're
Yeah.
all kind of the same signs.
Mm-hmm. So Alejandra, but she still kept up her other, even though you started sugar dating, you still
Oh, yeah.
kept up your other counts in like the regular swiping apps.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to really compare a good comparison because you love to date. And here's what she told me. So we have an open relationship, right? And it's a little tough at times because our feelings have really developed for each other. But she's like, well, it's easy for me because guys that ask me out all the time and I get to go have like a nice dinner, a nice time. I get to enjoy some company or whatever. But for me, having an open relationship, I can still date too, but it's fucking expensive. Like, I just can't go out every single night of the week because it's bust my budget.
Yeah.
So it's a lot tougher for me sugar dating. And then it's impossible for me to do any kind of normal, regular dating because I said many times in the podcast and what we've alluded to or found out that when you on those other sites, they just want to rush into a relationship.
Mm,
And,
yeah.
you know, I just enjoy the experiencing life part. But for a man, that's pretty darn expensive. My open relationship was a little bit different than her open relationship part of it. So that makes it a little bit tough.
So, Alejandra, what's the most sugar daddies that you've had at once? Like that you've been dating simultaneously? I don't mean like menage a trois. I mean like you were dating these.
Yeah.
Like constantly?
Um,
Or
yeah. Do you have any consistent ones besides Marcus?
no, just Marcus.
Oh,
Yeah. I met one, which is the oral surgeon, but I've only met him once. He's out of town. Well, he's now back, but I haven't seen him.
Yeah, but you guys haven't really established anything yet.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't established no arrangements or allowance with anyone else.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then she has a gentleman from a town 100 miles
Oh, yeah.
east of here that she'll see occasionally.
Yeah.
What is
But-
he, a sugar daddy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he said that he's dated almost every girl in Tucson.
Yes. Which was the reason why he got on Seeking.
Yeah.
Was because he needed like new girls.
That's
And
a
he was
In the hell?
actually, he was
that's
the,
a play-up.
We shall call him the juggler.
the
The
juggler.
juggler.
He was
Yeah.
the third guy I met on Seeking.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool because he was new to it. I was new to it. So we got along really well. And we just kept like a really good friendship. So when I go to Tucson, then I will see him.
Yeah, I was thinking this over today. Of all of the guys that I have dated on Seeking multiple times to where I would consider it an arrangement of sorts, not necessarily an allowance situation per se, but an arrangement of sorts. I am friends with all but 2 of them.
Wow.
And
Pretty good.
one was the goddamn Scorpio. We are not friends.
No.
That mother trucker blocked me for no healthy reason.
Well, and the
He'll
crazy
come
thing.
back around.
Well,
Once he's done getting a swirly.
yeah.
Getting a swirly?
Well-
Yeah, you know, swirling around.
It's going to be awkward because during the time they were together,
Oh,
him and I are
yeah.
partnering up in a member guest golf tournament at his swanky country club.
Yeah.
And they have date night there. So I'm planning on taking Alejandra with me to experience the dinners and
When is this?
the banquets. It's in April, here in about a month. So
But has he contacted you?
no, he
I-
hasn't. So I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. He might have broke up with you too.
It's very possible. It is very possible now.
Can you still show up?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to
But
be
your
awkward.
name was on there, so I don't think he can change it.
Yeah.
Maybe he can. I don't know.
You know what? I'll have to go. They did send me a confirmation of all the players that are in the tournament, so I'll have to go see if my name is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Say hey to the Scorpio for
Uh-huh.
me.
Right. So Alejandra's had some interesting experiences lately with guys that she's met on Hinge. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh my God. I met this guy in our first date. He bought, well, it was a nice gesture. He bought my mom food, like a pastry, because he knew how close me and my mom were.
So he's trying to get into your mom's heart from the very get-go.
Yes.
That's actually a very smart guy.
It is.
Yeah,
and
that
my
is funny.
mom
So,
loved him
men-
for that.
Yeah, men, take note. The way to a woman's heart quickly is to court her mom also.
My mom
food.
likes Cartier bracelets.
So then after that, he asked me on a second date. And that's when he told me, like, I'm going to delete my Hinge because I want to put all my effort into you and my energy.
Now that scares the hell out of you when somebody does
Yes, it does.
that. You're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, and I wanted to be polite, grabbed his hand, and I said, you are so sweet for doing that.
But there's the big but.
I've been there before, and it just never turns out good. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I just didn't work out with him. He
I bet
wanted
he
to
was
meet
a
my
s-
mom, like, every time we would hang out. He's like,
What? Maybe he was hot for mom.
maybe.
Maybe he had a MILF fetish going
I mean,
on.
she does have a hot mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to get lucky times 2. Mother-daughter duo style.
That's your friend that has the fetish that was gonna pay in Mexico
Yeah,
to do a mom and a daughter.
it's true.
You have some weird Persian friends.
Um,
So
allegedly.
allegedly. So Alejandra, you put kibosh to that one.
Yeah, he wanted to be my mom.
Yeah.
Like, every excuse, like, we would go do something. He's like, let's invite your mom or your dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why do you want to bring my parents, like, that soon?
Now, interesting. I never did that
In the beginning.
in the beginning, but after about, let's say, 4 or 5 months, I started mentioning your mom. Like, hey, I want to meet your mom. And I started just teasing you about, hey, we're gonna have a baby.
I have to know, is that a generational thing?
Well,
What?
I was generally interested.
Because I mean, I've dated people and they've never like. I feel like my generation, we don't want to meet each other's parents. We're like, for the most part, you know. I mean, in my last relationship, I met his parents and he met my parents and my whole family. However, I did live with him for like a year and, you know, engaged. So there's that. But he also hadn't told me he had never introduced any girl. He was almost 30. He had never introduced any girl to his parents, which is very interesting considering that he had dated a lot of girls and he had 2 kids. I'm like, you never introduced the mothers of your children to your parents? And he's like, not until after the kids were born. I'm like, are you
What the hell?
what in the hell's bells?
Well,
What
see,
in the red flag?
here's the deal. I've met enough mothers that I know they love me.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to really get into her heart, I could get into her mom's heart. I know I
My
could.
mama would have loved Marcus.
Yeah.
You got that MILF honey to those
No, but I was
milkies.
serious. But you know what it did? And I didn't realize Alejandra moves very slow. And I'm extremely slow. So it started putting pressure on her and it started putting pressure on our relationship. And we finally had to have a talk about that. And I didn't realize it. I mean, because I didn't do it immediately.
No.
It was like 4 or 5 months into it.
I feel like it was more like during Texas. That's when
I took you to Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when it started. I was still enjoying all my experiences with you, but I was also finding myself asking myself at the end of the day, like, what are we? Like,
Right.
where do I want to take this? And I just didn't know because it was too soon and I just emotionally wasn't there.
Yeah.
But she did meet some of your family whilst in Texas, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I
yes.
met
And
my friends. And
yeah.
now I took her on this amazing experience. We went and saw Post Malone, stayed at an Airbnb like right across the street from the stadium, and we're able to just like walk across the street. Then we went to Texas Stadium, AT&T Stadium, where the Cowboys play, and we took a tour. Got to go underneath the stadium, in the locker rooms, in the cheerleaders area. And that was
very
on the
fun.
football field. Got lots of great pictures. So as a sugar daddy, and I've got this beautiful girl experiencing things that I am enjoying so much, it's very easy to start falling for somebody and having feelings for somebody. And you're just seeing the best side of them. And you're just like, oh my God, I'd love to meet your parents. And, you know, and I was half kidding about the baby part, you know, but
Half kidding. Oh, God.
just half kidding.
Let's
'cause-
have half a baby.
yeah, I mean, if it happened, I would be happy. But no, I wasn't trying to impregnate her or anything. But.
You asked her if you could put a baby in her.
Well, I don't have anybody to leave all this hard work that I've done. I don't have.
You can leave it to my grandson.
I can. Yeah.
No, cute.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, you do have a cute little grandson.
Yes, I do.
All right, so that was back to Alejandra. So that was putting a little pressure on you, and then we went on a trip to Hawaii.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was amazing time. But that's when I finally. Okay, so I guess let's back up. So we're now 6 months into our relationship, our dating. We were 6 months in our dating. We're seeing each other at least 2 times a week, at least. I've got you on a nice allowance. So the way it started with her, and I don't usually do this. I did it with Kimmy for a little bit, but I usually just I help them out when I meet them. And then that's it. There's no pressure to meet certain times a week. You know, if we go out on a date and we have fun, I send you home with a little donation or gift or whatever, right?
A little sugar.
Little sugar, a little
little
financial
sugar.
donation. But with Alejandra, we were seeing each other so much, and I just didn't want it to feel transactional because she's so different than anybody else I'd ever met. And I've been on the site almost 7 years. I've literally gone out with multi-hundreds of people, had dates. Some last
Wow.
one time, and some last 100 times, right? Whatever. But I've
And they're
met
still there.
hundreds of girls on Seeking. And she was a little different. So I said, hey, let me just put you on a weekly allowance. And we've really never talked finances since. Like literally, I just set it up, goes into your account. We never talk about it. And sometimes we see each other 3-4 times a week.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes once. Like when you're traveling or something.
I
going
think
to,
the only time we did not see each other was when I had my wisdom teeth removed.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was a little medical issue.
Yeah.
You had all 4 wisdom teeth in your face. swelled
it's the
up
worst pain
so
ever.
bad. Yeah. But that works great for us. Just the weekly allowance.
Yes.
What do you, I know Lilly prefers like a weekly allowance, don't you? Or how do you like to structure it?
Well, I've never had a weekly allowance. I've had a monthly allowance that was paid every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But
Pretty much the same.
I absolutely would prefer a monthly allowance.
Yeah.
I absolutely would. My main guy, my podcast fanboy,
Oh.
he's so adorable. We have never, ever, ever discussed money,
Yeah.
but I'll just check my Venmo and there will be like really nice sugar in there.
Yes.
With a cute note about, hope this helps with this, or
Right.
you use this for that. And I'm like, God damn, he's so sweet.
He actually helped you with a little surgical procedure.
Yeah.
Paying for that.
He paid for my booty enhancement.
Yeah.
Booty.
Ooh.
So
And he brought you a birthday present.
he did. It was
A
very
really
sweet.
thoughtful one.
Yeah.
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 he's
He
just-
knows I'm a Cowboys fan, and he got me some Cowboy memorabilia.
Isn't it awesome when people know you from the podcast?
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
He's just a really sweet, genuine, generous, good man.
And that's why
I might keep him.
we're here today, not just to discuss sugar dating, because it's a very interesting subject. It's a completely unique form of dating, and it's becoming more traditional, and it's not unlike, helping your wife with expenses or a girlfriend with expenses. But there are such good people
Yeah.
in there that you can find, but getting through the bullshit is why we're here trying to help you find those good people. Kimmy has found some amazing people and has some unbelievable experiences, and so
Very
has
true.
Lilly. I get to listen to this every day.
Yeah.
These girls tell me about their experiences every single day, and some of them are jaw-dropping, and we love sharing those stories. But it's tough to get to the good ones, but they're there. You just got to filter through a lot of people. And like Alejandra, you said you just got overwhelmed with messages.
Mm-hmm.
But now, why did you finally get back to me? Like, we talked for about a month or so online, and I couldn't really get you to commit to a date, but then all of a sudden you got back to me.
Yes, I remember.
Well, I remember.
I remember. Oh, I just loved your voice.
Oh.
And I was laughing, and you guys felt like a family, like that you guys were us a family when you
Mhm.
guys were having the conversations. And even though I didn't know you guys, I felt like I could feel like the closeness and the friendship that you guys had. And it was just something that I always look forward to every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to message this back, and I need to meet him in person. And that's
I'm
when I
glad that
reached
comes
back.
through because we are like the best of friends.
Well, and that's the
Yes.
thing. I have met the best friends I have in life right now, all through sugar dating.
yeah.
It's actually crazy. It's so crazy how many doors it'll open.
I have never had a male best friend before, and I wouldn't have one if it wasn't for Seeking
Mhm.
because you reached out to me on there and
Mhm.
you're my best man friend.
Oh, yeah. We talk
love
every
that.
day. The crazy thing about Lilly is she'll start jokes. I could finish them. Or she will mention something, a song, or sing a lyric to a song, and I know exactly what she's referring to. It's uncanny. It's
Yep.
just, there hardly has been any reference to anything that I haven't gotten immediately. And the problem with some of these older sugar daddies that you've met, it goes right over their head, or they don't get it.
Yeah.
Or even the younger ones.
The
Yeah.
like we'll be joking about something and I'm like, Kimmy, do you even know what we're talking about? She's like, I got
Nope.
no damn idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But Alejandra and I haven't really had that many items come up where you just kind of look clueless at me.
No.
It's unbelievable that here we are 29 years apart and how we could bond so well. I would have never thought that, when I first got divorced 7 years ago or so. I'm getting back into the dating world. I'm thinking, what can I learn from a 21-year-old?
See, well,
what can
at
I
the end
learn
of the
from
day,
somebody so young?
We're all just people. And
Mhm.
if you look back in ancient Greece or ancient somewhere,
Yeah.
the ideal relationship was between a young pre-adolescent boy and an old man.
Oh my goodness. Leave it to Kimmy.
And I'm sure they had something in common.
Oh my God.
Yes, they did.
They sure did. So you can really learn anything from anyone. Open your heart, but not too far, as long as it's legal.
That's great advice.
All right. So speaking of opening your heart, I want to touch on this subject of open relationships. It can be very tricky.
Touch it.
All right. So Lilly, I'll take Alejandra off the spot. She's got to look over there like, oh shit, we're going there.
No, it's fine. We talked about it.
Yeah. So Lilly, your relationships are pretty open for the most part, right?
Yes. So honestly, I've only had, since I became a seeking person. So I don't really like to call myself a sugar baby, but since I became a seeker, I've only had a couple of exclusive relationships, and they ended in disaster for the most part.
Right.
Although no, some of them didn't necessarily end in disaster. They just ended, and we're still friends.
Mm-hmm.
But the exclusivity thing, I just don't think you can jump into that as quickly as some of these men want to. And I get why. They're lonely. They just want to buy your love.
Tie you down and put you in their basement.
That's
well, some of them do.
right. Yeah.
They do.
So Kimmy, you jumped right into an exclusive relationship a few years ago, right when you got on the site.
Yeah.
But
in
that
2021.
Yeah. But that was the last one, right?
Yeah, that was the last exclusive relationship I've basically had until.
Now, there's so
I
many
don't
men
know.
that want an exclusive relationship with
Yeah.
you. And what do you tell them?
Sure.
I want that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it just never really happens. Like men, the thing is, I've come to realize a lot of men, most men, want to believe that you are the only person or they are the only person that you're seeing. And the reason why is because, well, they can't fathom the idea of the person they like or love or whatever is they're infatuated with is with another person or with another man, right? But unfortunately for them, I don't give a shit. And they don't want to do that to me, if that makes sense. Like most men will say they want to be exclusive and all that, but what they really mean is I want you to be exclusive to me.
Mm-hmm.
That
But-
was my ex-husband. He was a prolific cheater and made it clear to me that if I ever did the same thing, he would just cut me off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess he was a sugar daddy of sorts because I actually really needed, mostly what I needed for him was I needed help with the bills, but I mostly needed him to keep my daughter on insurance, on health insurance, because I couldn't afford to do it on my own. So I didn't do the same thing. I was faithful, but got real good at taking care of my own needs, so to speak.
I'm sure you did.
I've had a little practice with that.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so back to Alejandra. Let's talk about open relationships. We did not have any talks for a while. Like
Right.
you and I just started dating, just started
Mhm.
going out, having amazing experiences, trips to Sedona, trips to Las Vegas, and other places, and great dining experiences. And you got to be thinking, oh, this is fantastic. But you didn't want a relationship.
No,
But we never talked about that.
we did not.
So here I am dating 3 or 4 different other girls, various degrees of interest in those girls. But I really started having most of my time and interest involved with you. So I started phasing them out. But I never had a talk with you about that.
Right.
And then I realized, well, fuck, she's not phasing out her guys. What gives? And so then we finally had a talk. What are your thoughts about why you want to keep your options open?
Well, I've been in long-term relationships, and especially right now, I know emotionally, because me and you have been going so slow in this relationship, I emotionally made myself available to you where I did open my heart. I do immensely like you a lot, but
But do
I
you
cannot
like
do the
him?
commit. I
Do
cannot
you like him or do you like him?
like I like like.
Oh, there was an extra like in there.
Triple like him. She triple likes you,
well,
Marcus.
for me, I
Good
see
answer.
it as in, if I'm gonna get in a relationship, it's the man that I'm gonna marry. Like
Mhm.
I am saying, I'm gonna marry the guy I'm in a relationship next. That's how serious I'm gonna take it. So right now, I know that I don't want to get married in the next 2 years.
Because
That's
you have
why I'm-
school coming up,
Yeah.
and yeah.
That's why I'm like pushing away people that I do want relationships.
I
Mhm.
think that's a
Seriousness.
really good point because a lot of people don't talk about what a relationship really means and what the purpose of a relationship is. You
Mhm.
know, it's like you start a relationship and you get serious, and what if you move in with the person? What's the next step? You don't really go back. You don't really go from driving a Lamborghini to driving a Honda. Instead of taking a step back, you either lose the title to the Lambo, they come take the Lambo
Yeah.
from you,
Yeah.
but you're not selling the Lambo and buying a Honda, you know? So the point, I think, is when you take things further, you're just going to keep going further, but because you're not going to go backwards, because going backwards is going to be really fucking hard, you know?
Yeah.
What we see a lot is people flame out. Like they'll get hot and heavy very quickly, and then 2, 3, 4 months down the road, like where do you go from there? It only gets worse. Whereas Alejandra and I, here it is 8.5 months later, and you would say our relationship is
Stronger than ever.
absolutely. It's better, stronger, because we've had time to develop those roots
Mhm.
and let them grow. It's not superficial. It's not like a weed that you can just pull out. That
Right.
grows very quickly. You know, our relationship has grown very slowly, and the roots have really taken hold, giving some plant references, and they're very strong now. Like it would take a lot to tear us apart because we've been able to open up emotionally and talk about things that are difficult to talk about. And that's what the fuck you mean you're dating other people? Right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, you know, you either get married or you get your Lambo depoted. So it's up to you.
Yeah.
You
Right.
get what I'm saying, man.
Do you mean repoed?
Repoed.
Repoed, something like that. I think we understood where she was going with that.
How do you depot a Lambo?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I get you.
Thanks, Mom.
So I'm going to let you in on a little secret, though, on one thing that has made Alejandra and our time together and our relationship together is that when she said that she wanted an open relationship and she did not want something serious, I let her have that open relationship.
Yes, I feel like the freedom definitely made me want you way more because I was like, man, like if this guy really likes me that much to give me that freedom to be and do what I need to do, it just like made me want to be closer to you.
Right. It's
It
almost
works.
counterintuitive for
Yeah.
men. Like, you mean I got to let her go out on these other dates? And what if she does this? And what if she does this? And what if she starts liking a guy more? If she does, be happy for her. But be that strong figure that's going to be there for her. And you're going to find that she's calling you on her way home from dates.
Yeah.
Say,
Yeah.
hey, I went on a dinner date with this guy. Can I come spend the night with you?
Yes.
True.
Let the girl get her FOMO taken care of because all she's going to discover is nobody compares to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. If you're a good guy,
Yeah. And you got to
and
put
you're
your work in and be that good
genuine
guy.
and you're doing the right thing,
Right.
and you're there for her, most men aren't. So
Mhm.
she's just going to be discovering that there's a bunch of losers out there,
and
she's going to come a running back to you.
And I think it also has a lot to do with self-confidence. If you're confident in yourself, knowing you're a good person, then you should have nothing to worry about. But if you deep down know you're a shitty, awful person, then yeah, they're probably going to go out and find somebody better than you.
Mm-hmm.
So work on yourself.
Yeah,
How many men
exactly.
have you encountered who know that they're a loser? Because almost every guy I've encountered, they think they're the cat's meow.
See,
They
that's
think
not-
they're the shit, and I should just be beside myself that they would give me their attentions. There's a lot of guys like that,
I think it just.
especially rich men.
I don't know. I think
They're
it could be
delusional.
it could be a mask for other things,
Nope.
especially narcissism. You know, they talk about a lot of people who are narcissistic are actually just they have really low is it self-confidence? I'm not sure.
Self-esteem?
Self-esteem, yeah. They have very low self-esteem. And so it shows.
Not the narcissist.
It is.
Well, underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just not the mask they put out.
Right.
But like deep down, the reason they act like that is because of,
insecurity.
Extreme fake it till you make it.
Mm-hmm. But you
No.
you really have to love somebody so that they feel free. And when you can love somebody that they feel free, it just makes everything better. Right, Alejandra?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I mean, we've experienced it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't easy.
No.
It's not easy. I still get a little jealous. I'm sensing that you get a little jealous.
Not really.
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
Right. So how do you handle it? Like because
My jealousy.
I told you, hey, if you're going to be going out with these other guys, then by God, I'm going to start dating girls again,
Right.
By God.
because I'm not going to just sit at home.
No.
We're going to go have fun too.
You know what?
How does that make you feel?
It's very fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
And I do get jealous, but when I see your stories on Instagram, I just try, I don't know, like when I know what you're doing, I kind of like, it's kind of like a self-check. Like, why am I jealous, right? He's going out and I'm staying home. And that's fine because I do like my alone time from time to time. And because I do like you a lot, I also have to know that you are having your fun and you're enjoying yourself. So I have to kind of like self-check and
Mm-hmm. But then we talk about it.
yeah, and we talk about it.
We
the
talk
next
about
day.
our dates, and I tell you why I really like this person, but I can only take them for 3 hours, and then I'm done with them. Like they drive me crazy.
Right.
So exactly my emotions are going on that night. I like her because she's quirky and she makes me laugh, but I can't take that like every single day. So it's not somebody I want to be with long term. It's just occasionally I like, butterscotch ice cream versus mint chocolate chip.
That's fine.
Or, as Brian Howie would say, butter pecan.
Butter pecan, right? Now that we're older.
Let's go get some ice cream,
Yeah,
damn
there
it.
is our ice cream part. So we just moved into our new studios.
Getting
I know
ice cream is code for something. I just know it.
Yeah. Well, I know we don't sound any different, but we've got a beautiful view here in downtown Scottsdale, and there is an ice cream parlor next door. I'd probably be visiting after the podcast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe treat Lily to a birthday dessert.
Don't mind if I do.
Don't mind if you do. All right. Well, Kimmy, any last words that you want to impart on us? All right. Well, Lily, I appreciate you joining me here today for your birthday show. And it was really special having Alejandra on here. We had
Isn't
to convince.
it both of your... Okay,
Yes.
you know what?
We're sharing the birthday
We're
episode.
sharing the birthday show, yeah.
I
sharing
thought
it.
next week was your birthday show.
Lily?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I
we
mean,
could
we
do a
can-
double birthday show. We certainly
could.
did one for you,
Yeah,
Kimmy.
we did have a double birthday show.
Yeah, there was 2 full episodes on your birthday show.
Hey, I
that were
just
quite good.
want everyone out there to know that you owe me huge thanks because it's thanks to me that Alejandra's even on our show
yes.
today. I told
That's
her
right.
it was my deepest, fondest birthday wish if she would
Yeah.
come be on my birthday episode. And so she couldn't say no.
Yeah, she told because
loves me.
I've tried to convince her to come on here many times, and she said no, I'm not ready. But then, of course, when Lily asked her, she's like, I couldn't turn Lily down.
I know.
Well, she has those beautiful blue eyes and that busty brunette vibe to
We're
her.
talking about Lily.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about you, Marcus. Our
We like
beautiful
your-
blue-eyed, busty brunette, Marcus.
Yeah.
We like your cleavage, Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice.
All right. Well, Alejandra, I really appreciate you coming on my show and opening up. I know you're our biggest fan. So,
No, she's not.
no, she is.
Podcast Fanboy is equally.
Hey, but Podcast Fanboy does not get the episode 10 minutes after we record it to
Or
listen to.
does-
Well, like half an hour.
Half an hour. Yeah.
Because you have to listen to it first.
So Alejandra, she bugs me and she's like, you recorded a podcast today. I don't see it in my inbox.
That's so funny.
I need some extra sugar and I need some Secrets of a Sugar Daddy podcast.
And I would purposely see Marcus on Thursday evenings. Only
Yeah.
because I knew he had that recent podcast.
Yeah, so we'd be driving to dinner, and she's like, "Turn on the podcast. I want to hear what you guys talked about today."
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
And I'm like, "It's unedited, and there's things in there I might be deleting because we might have talked about you."
And she's like,
She's like,
now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Damn it.
I know. All right. Well, maybe we can convince her to come on again.
How was it? Was it painful?
Yeah. Oh man, it'll take some time.
Well, you did wonderful.
Thank you, babe.
Yeah. All right. If you want to share your crazy sugar dating stories, questions, or comments, go to our website at secretsofasugardaddy.com and be sure to follow us on Instagram at the same name. And if you go to our site, we have a course there called OMG Yes. And Alejandra can tell you that it's really good. So click on that to learn how to pleasure a woman properly.
Way to make a girl blush.
All right. Until next episode. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.